So conference calls suck. I'm sure you've all done conference calls. You dial a phone number, you dial a PIN, you don't know who's on, you don't know who's talking, there's beeps when someone joins. It's a massive market. It's still the primary way business people communicate, especially remotely. So Speek fixes crappy conference calls. So instead of a dial-in phone number and a PIN, we give you a personal link. So speak.com/Danny, for example, is how I do my conference calls, is my bridge. I give that out through my calendar invite. People go there from any platform, mobile phone, their browser. They can click a button, join the call, single click, through their phone, any method they want, voice over IP, phone network, whatever it may be. We're available on native mobile apps, mobile browsers, and web browser.
All right, now we're going to answer these questions. Three
Sure.
questions. So the first one is, you've got 3 minutes to answer 3 pieces of information, share 3 pieces of information that you didn't convey yesterday that you'd like to share with the judges today.
Sure, so I don't think I got into, and didn't have time to really get into the virality of our product. And we've basically made conference calls a viral product. So not only have we fixed the user experience, but kind of selfishly, it's highly viral. So if I'm an active user, I use speak.com/Danny to host conference calls. I'm giving that out to everybody. Every single person I do a conference call with is a potential Speek user. And we convert about 20% of those people. So we spend almost no money on marketing. We've grown to hundreds of thousands of users just through the inherently viral components of our product. So I think that's one massive piece I didn't really get into yesterday. Another piece is kind of how we sell. So because of the virality of our product, we have our own kind of self-generating lead source. So we basically will see, Living Social or AOL users through AOL.com email addresses signing up, and we'll see one person sign up, activate, another person sign up from AOL, activate. We'll see 5. Then our salesperson will suddenly call in and turn that into a corporate account, and we'll sell them a business account. So it's a lot like what Yammer does, a lot like what other business SaaS products have done. But we're converting 20% of our free active users to paid through this way. We just started, literally just started. We had our first salesperson just started this month and has already hit his quota. So I think that's a big component. The last piece that I didn't really get into is we actually own and built every single layer of the stack. So we built our own voice platform. We built the API that ties the web and mobile clients to the telephony world, which is very, very, very difficult to do technically. And we made that investment, and it's hard to get right, and it's extremely difficult. Even like someone like Join.me, who does screen sharing, they outsource voice to TurboBridge. They can't get it right. And that's a huge part of a huge publicly traded company. So we've actually got patentable proprietary technology at every single layer. We don't outsource anything.
Great. All right, next question is, what's the biggest challenge that you have, had for your startups thus far, and how are you going to overcome this?
So, I mean, relative to my last point is the technology. It's so challenging to build, building something like Twitter is fairly simple, except for at scale. When you're dealing with telephony and audio and voice, and the expectation is so high that any little garbled audio, dropped call, problem, it's so much harder than building like a Twitter or your typical mobile app, that we had to have just top-notch talent. So finding those great engineers that are just A-level, both web and telephony engineers is extremely difficult. So the way we solved it is we kind of informally acqui-hired people from UserPlane, which was an AOL property. A lot of they have a probably average 10 years experience building communications products, very similar stack to ours. It was real-time voice, video, and instant messaging. So they've done this. They've been there, done that, similar technology stack, and that's how we've solved it. Okay,
great. So final question, then we can go to the judges, is what if you do win this competition, how are you going to use the prize money?
So we're kind of in that good problem of a startup stage. We're about a year old, but we're hitting just massive growth. We're already quadrupling our usage like overnight in terms of actual minutes and actual conference calls happening. So I think we'll invest that money in infrastructure and supporting this massive growth, and also into sales. We're having great luck already, very quickly with selling into corporate America, and I think just hiring more salespeople and doing more on the sales front would be good for us.
Okay, judges, who wants us to kick it off?
I'll start. I make a lot of phone calls, a lot of conference calls.
Sure.
I have a dedicated BBC bridge, and one of the things that always happens to me is I have overlapping calls, so people dial in, and then all of a sudden, there are multiple people. It's embarrassing. And are you guys addressing that?
We are. So what we're going to do is we're building a feature. So we haven't had this problem yet, but as we start to sell into more bigger companies, this comes up a lot more. It's kind of a security-related feature as well. We're going to make a lock. So you can just hit the lock button once everyone's on your call, because you can see who's on your call visually through Speek. That's another benefit of the link. We're going to make it so there's a little lock button. You hit it, no one else can join. Once it's locked, everyone's on the call, no one new can join. You unlock it when you're ready to open it back up again. So you have full control over who's on your call, and you can see who's on. You can remove people, and you'll be able to lock it as well. So that's something that's kind of a good problem that's come up as we've moved up past like early adopters, small business, into the enterprise.
So I'm a user of Uber Conference, and it seems like that solves a lot. It seems similar. So tell me what's different, and do you know if you're bigger or not, if this is an end game of network effects?
Yep. No, they're the competition. They're apples to apples competitor of ours. I think the core difference is product. The ethos of their product is to be more industrial strength. They went straight for the enterprise. You just schedule your calls within Uber Conference. You've got to push out invites. You've got to, people still have a dial-in concept with Uber Conference. Our ethos of our product is fast and easy conference calling. It's getting on the call with no friction. That's what we solve. So I can give you my link. You hit a button. You're on the call with me. You don't get that so much with Uber Conference, and we don't touch scheduling. Why reinvent Google Calendar or Outlook? That already exists. We let you use the tools you use today for scheduling. So I think that's one just inherent advantage we have over them. And how big they've raised $20 million. We've raised $3 million. They're spending ridiculous amounts but user-wise, I think we're close as far as active users. I would say we're pretty close. Just based on looking at the various tools that are out there to tell you about traffic and website traffic and usage. They're outspending us. Their marketing budget is $50 grand a month, we estimate. Ours is almost zero.
So it looks like this works well if you have a smartphone or you're on a computer, but what do you do if you're at a phone and you're punching in the numbers? How does it work?
Yeah, we still provide as a backup the old school dial-in. So we're bridging a habit, because that habit of dialing into a bridge has been around for decades. It's a hard habit to break. And if you study BJ Fogg's work at all in tiny habits, it's we're bridging. So the link is what we lead with. We push for that. That's what most people use. If you still have the need, or for whatever reason want to use a dial-in, we have that. It's not front and center, but it exists. We also let people that don't have a smartphone or aren't on a computer. This is actually a patentable technology feature we've come up with. You can send a text message. So I own Speek.com/Danny. You can text a phone number that we give out to all of our users and just put Danny in it, and we'll call you back on your phone. So you can actually join a call through text message as well. So if you're on a feature phone, not a smartphone, which is actually I find that really simple if you're on the road or in the airport or just walking around. So.
Okay.
Just quick clarification. So you said 20% of the people that are on a call, so not a user other than just clicking on the link, become a user, and then 20% of those users become paid users?
No, 20% of the active users. So 20% of non-registered guests convert, they register. About 10% activate. And we have a pretty conservative activation definition. So you've got to do it's not just logins, which is what most web companies do. For us, you've got to do a phone call every 30 days with at least 2 people on it for more than 5 minutes. And that's what we consider active. So we're kind of hard on ourselves, I think, in terms of defining what active is. But 10% of people that register activate. 20% of the active users end up paying us, and because we're a freemium product, so they upgrade to Pro.
So where's the threshold for free versus pay?
Yeah, no, good question. So you can get your Speek link for free with your own name. Permanent, you can keep it. You can have up to 5 callers at a time. That's free. And then if you want call recording, more than 5 callers, if you want to brand the Speek link so we can put your company logo and your colors on your Speek.com/Danny page, we can make AOL.Speek.com/Danny for AOL employees. And we have international, so you can actually join a call from Russia by hitting a button on your smartphone in Russia. It'll call a Russian phone number, and we'll transport that over IP to our endpoint. So it's actually free local call from anywhere in the world to join a Speek call. We figured out, through some clever technology, a way to do that very cost effectively. So those are all premium features. And as we add more stuff, they'll become more and more, that'll kind of bulk up that premium offering. And we're slowly building up a business, kind of more of a business offering, where we have like Dropbox has Dropbox Dropbox Pro, they have Dropbox for Teams. We have Speek Pro, we'll soon have Speek Teams.
All right. We've got more time, so about a minute left. Any
All
other
right.
questions?
Nothing?
Wow, you silenced the judges.
Yeah.
Nice work.
It's a good thing, right?
Very efficient. All right, let's
All
hear it
right,
for
thank
Speek.
you.